You are not the only single islanders. Mel and Montel are waiting to date you at the front of the villa.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who to be, it's your girl KylerB coming at you for a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island Season 10, Episode 15. We just don't count the unseen bits, so the episode number is going to be a little bit off. Anyway, this episode, the drama that's going to ensue after this episode is going to be crazy. Like, I got to be tuned in. I got to be on my Zoom tomorrow to see what happened because, yo, let's just get right into the video. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, do so because I'll be doing Love Island reviews. Also, today we found out that Love Island USA is coming out July 18th, so be prepared for that because I will be reviewing that too. Anyway, this episode basically started out with the whole Jess and Sammy thing after we see Meddy and Whitney kiss, which was kind of cringe, but you know, good on Whitney and Meddy, okay? Next thing we see, Jess telling the girls that, you know, after her conversation with Mitchell, she basically starts to have a little bit of feelings, or not really feelings, but she's like opening back that door. After she friend zoned him and basically said like, yeah, that ship sailed, she basically reconsidered and like after talking to him, she's like, maybe there's something there. So then she had to have a conversation with Sammy and she told Sammy that. So then Sammy was kind of like uneasy. He went back to the guys, told the guys about it, and the guys basically boosted his head and basically said, you know what? I probably would be upset too. So they had like another chat. When they had another chat, he was basically like, I was close with you and now you want to be open and try to get to know Mitchell. And Mitchell's been here since day one and now you want to get to know Mitchell. He's like, I would have understand that if you were getting to know Bombshell, but now that you're getting to know Mitchell after you told me that it was just a friendship thing and whatnot. So Sammy was so rude. This man went back to he got up in mid-conversation with Jess and then walked over to the guys. He's like, if I was head over heels for her, you know, I would probably be a little upset. But he's like, I'm not going to be mugged off.
Like, it was like a girl that like I was head over heels for. It'd be a different story. But I'm not going to be treated like a mug, you know what I mean? It's like, do your thing.
You know what it is, Jess?
Like, he basically just said right then and there, like, he doesn't even care for Jess like that or likes her really like that. He's just upset that, you know, he gave Jess a chance, even though she's not her, you know, not his typical type, but he gave her a chance, you know, and now she comes back around and basically says, oh, I want to be open and get to know Mitch. So he's kind of feeling like, yeah, I'm not going to let her play me. That's basically, in other words, what he's basically saying, because he really does not care for Jess like that. If a new person that's more his type or whatever comes into that villa, he's leaving Jess ASAP Rocky, okay? So when Jess basically starts to kick off and basically starts to be like, you know, I could have left you, you know, multiple times at that fire pit and things like that. He's like basically saying like, you're acting like a young guy, and he's just not showing any care in the world at all. Like, he's not yelling back at her or nothing. He's just like, you know, being sarcastic about the situation, just letting her, you know, kick off. So then, you know, it's like a heated night. They all go to sleep. We see Meddy and, you know, Whitney cuddle, and we're like, okay. So from a kiss to a cuddle in bed, like, all right. We see Scott and Catherine still cuddling, which is like, okay, that's nice too. And Ty and Elle are doing something else, so we don't know. Next day, they get a text that they're gonna have a brunch. So basically, they're all having brunch. You know, we see Zach and Molly's talk, and their chats are just dry. Like, there's really no substance to their chats. They're just basically still in awe that they're getting to know each other. Like, they're still in awe, even though over a week ago, they were still trying to get to know each other and continue their relationship. Now they're in a couple. They're still in awe about the whole situation. All they really do is kiss, and that's it. There's really no substance to their relationship at all. None. We see Tyreek and Ella, and basically, you know, they're chatting it up. You know, Ella was basically asking him, like, aren't you closed off? And he's like, for now, but she's, like, trying to get him to say, like, well, for good, but he's just like, trying to be like realistic about it, that, you know, he doesn't know. He's trying to be living present. He's trying to live in the present, and she's trying to be like, no, you got to make a decision right now that you're going to be closed off forever. Which I'm just like, Ella, please calm down. Next thing we know, we see Sammy and Jess still conversating about the whole situation from last night, because, you know, he's upset with her, she's like upset with him, and she's like, you didn't even hear me out about the whole situation, da 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 da. And like the conversation was going around in circles and going around nowhere. It wasn't really going anywhere. And the thing is that I'm just like, Jess, calm down. Like, Jess was just even making no sense. It's like, do you even like Mitchell, or you don't like Mitchell? You're just saying like it's a friendship thing with Mitchell. So do you really romantically like Mitchell, or are you just getting to know Mitchell? Because what is it? Like, what is the whole situation that you're telling Sammy about? Not really adding up here. Then we see Leah and Mitch, they're chatting, and it seems like, you know, they're having a little good chat, is something, whatever. You know, then we see Scott and Catherine, and basically, Catherine basically said, like, even though you're still getting to know Leah, like, you know, she really wants to get to know him more, and basically try to open up more, because he told her the night before, like, oh, Leah's basically putting in more work than you are. So basically, he told Catherine that, you know, you gotta get on your Zoom because Leah's kind of beating you to it. And, you know, Catherine is trying to get on her Zoom and basically, you know, say that she still wants to get to know Scott. And, you know, it was a nice little conversation. They really have good vibes, good banter, but I guess it just needs a little bit more than that, to be honest. So that's what we're really needing from them. Then we see Whitney and Nettie. They're talking, and, you know, he's asking if you want to move to France, and she's just like, no, which is funny. But then, next thing you know, Maya Jama comes in, basically lets the Islanders know that, you know, you're going to have to vote for the least compatible couple. You have to vote for the two of them. And tonight they're going to come back and reconvene. So they're in their couples, you know, it's like she just basically dropped the bombshell on them. So they're in their couples, they get up from their brunch, and then they're in couples, they're chatting about the least incompatible couples. So here's how it goes. Here's the highlight reel. We see, you know, Ella basically defend Whitney and Nettie's relationship to Tyreek. She's basically like, you know, Whitney really likes, you know, Meddy, and, you know, you think Meddy's gonna go up to the terrace and kiss any girl like that? Like, no, that's not, like, that, he doesn't work like that. And then Tyreek is like, so, like, Tyreek is like, how do you know this? How do you know this? And, you know, she's really defending Whitney. We also see Catherine defend Whitney and Meddy's, you know, relationship to Scott as well, because he's just like, I think he's trying to say, like, they've been in a couple longest, and, you know, they just started to getting, you know, move to each other, and, you know, she's defending them too.
That's a tricky one, Catherine and Scott. Even though it's early days, I think they like each other. They still need to get to know each other, but I feel like there's a big potential between them.
They're actually quite compatible.
I think they are.
I also think that Meddy ate that one thing. He ate that one thing. I think he ate two things in tonight's episode, but he ate that one thing when he said to Whitney that, you know, Scott and Catherine are, you know, they look very compatible. Even though it's early days, they actually look compatible. I think a couple other people also supported Catherine and Scott's relationship. You know what I'm saying? You know, Leah basically was telling Mitchell, like, how old Catherine and Scott's relationship. Oh, because since Leah's still getting to know Scott, she's feeling like, oh, she can't really, like, back that as a compatible relationship. She's like, oh, Scott never tells me about that. But, I mean, yeah. So they're getting ready for nighttime. And when they get ready, you know, the girls, you know, it's like, you know, somebody was saying, like, oh, we're going to find out who's going to vote for who. And, you know, Jess has, like, you know, that's what Jess said. And then they're all getting ready. Next thing you know, the guys get a text. So they didn't even get out to do a toast or anything and chat in their couples. The guys get a text when they're still getting ready in the dressing rooms and in the bedrooms. And he had to go upstairs, tell the girls, like, hey, we got to go to the fire pit immediately. Maya Jama comes and basically tells them that they have to stand up and explain out loud who voted for who. It's not no anonymous thing. They had to explain themselves. Why did you vote for who is the least compatible? And I'm just like, the drama. Like, you gotta, I remember when they used to text the two couples and keep it a secret, and that's it. You know, they won't find out, but people usually narrow it down and figure out who is who or whatever based on the number of votes. But the fact that they had to stand up and basically tell you in your face, I don't think you're incompatible, is messed up. So obviously the people who went first were Meddy and Whitney, and they said Sammy and Jess and Mitchell and Leah as least compatible. Obviously because of Mitchell saying Mitchell and Leah basically both said that they're in a friendship couple. They basically out loud said that that's basically a friendship couple. Was nothing more romantic to that situation. So we see Mitchell kind of getting a little like, rolling his eyes and whatnot. I think Sammy and Jess, because obviously they've been arguing the entire 2-3 days now over this whole Leah situation. Like, she's been crying, they've been arguing, they argued and kicked off in front of the whole villa. Like, what do you expect? And he even told the guys that, he doesn't even rate Jess like that to even be like, going back and forth with her like that. So, yeah. Anyway, who went next was Catherine and Scott. Catherine basically said Sammy and Jess, and then they also said Mitchell and Leah. Then next was Mitchell and Leah, and Mitchell and Leah said Jess and Sammy, and then they also said Eddie and Whitney. So Mitchell, he kind of ate a little bit. He kind of spoke facts. He basically said that they've been together for the longest time, and they're just, moving. I even said that in yesterday's episode review. I basically said they've been together since week 1, maybe episode 3, 4, whatever. They've been together, and they're just now getting to know each other or whatever. And that's kind of like very odd, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, compared to other couples who've been together for a short amount of times or whatever. So they were just like, for compatibility, doesn't really make sense. Even Tyreek said to Ella, like, even when they first coupled up, he just knew that it wasn't lasting long. And even the viewers know for a fact, well, not for a fact, but just know that Whitney and Meddy just don't seem like a compatible couple.
I'm being honest, yeah. Even from the first minute Meddy and Whitney coupled up, I said, no, this ain't lasting.
It's just for banter. Like, we've been saying that from the jump. So that's what's said. Next was Tyreek and Ella. And Tyreek said Catherine and Scott. And he was like, because Sammy is still, like, trying to get to know Leah and whatnot. He doesn't think that they're compatible. Like, he's still trying to get to know Leah, and his head is still turning, da-da-da-da.
The couple we chose as the least compatible was Catherine and Scott. Scott's head is not fully with Catherine yet, so I just don't see how they're that compatible at this current moment in time.
The second couple is Mitch and Leah. Mitch and Leah are the only couple in the villa that we know at this time are mainly just friendship. Okay, thank you both. Please take a seat.
They said Mitchell and Leah for the other couple. So then Sammy and Jess were next, and Sammy and Jess said Catherine and Scott and Whitney and Meddy for their least compatible couple. And then Zach and Molly said Mitchell and Leah and Sammy and Jess. So the most votes were Sammy and Jess and Mitchell and Leah. Zach and Molly didn't get votes, and Tyreek and Ella didn't get votes. The people who voted for Catherine and Scott were Tyreek and Ella and Sammy and Jess. And I'm just like, what? Like, your two quote-unquote besties voted for you, and which is really giving a big side-eye, because it's like, what? Like, I'm also, like, surprised that Molly and Zach did not get no votes at all, because in yesterday's episode, everybody said that, they don't seem too much as, like, a big couple. Obviously, they didn't even know too much about each other in the game. So, they could have been a couple to be voted for. But anyway, so they went up to those two were the most least compatible votes. So then, up at the fire pit, Maya noticed that Sammy kind of looked upset And he basically, said that, they're more stronger as a couple than Catherine and Scott and Whitney and Meddy. And he's like, they should have been up here than us. So, Maya asked Whitney and Meddy, like, well, do you have anything to say? And Meddy was just like, I don't compare myself to couples. I only look at my, I don't compare myself to couples. And then Whitney was like, copy that, touche. And I was just like, he ate that one thing because, like, he really told them off.
Sammy, you don't look that happy about that?
No, I mean, I don't think it's the right decision, but compared to most couples in here, I think we're far, far more compatible. We shouldn't be stood here.
So who do you think hasn't been completely honest?
Meddy and Whitney and Scott and Catherine, if I'm completely honest.
And then they asked Catherine and Scott, and Scott basically spoke up and said that picking us, whoever picked us, was basically a cop-out because they just been coupled up for 48 hours.
To say back?
No, I just never compare myself to the others, so I focus on my couple.
Touche. Copy that. And Scott and Catherine, do you have anything to say to that?
I felt like if people voted for us, it would have been an easy cop-out. I think when you strip everything back, for me, it's the right decision just off what's gone on in the last few days.
He only came to the villa 48 hours ago, or however, 72 hours ago, 3 days ago. And they just got coupled up into a couple 2 days ago. So they're just getting to know each other. And if he still wants to get to know Leah, that's basically his right. He's only been in that villa for 3 or 4 days. When Tyreek and Ella were coupled up, he got to know Leah for 2 days and 48 hours, as that was said, and nobody had a problem. Even Jess and Sammy, he was getting to know Leah. So why is it a problem that now Scott wants to get to know Leah when he just got into a 2-day couple with Catherine? And how is that he's emotionally compatible? Like, you got to understand, like, where they're coming from. He's just a new bombshell that just walked into the villa 3 days ago, and now because 2 days ago he got in a couple with Catherine, they're supposed to be like, even Meddy said that they seem pretty compatible with each other. So even other people are like seeing, and I don't even think that Meddy and Catherine are like close like that. So if they can see for themselves that like they are getting along with each other, it's just like, what's with them? And I feel like Tyreek is too messy. Like, he's been in Catherine's business from week 1, day 1. This man was the one who told Zach, like, hey, I think you get along with Molly better than you get along with Catherine. Like, he's like, when he was still chatting to Molly. He's the one who basically kind of sabotaged, or basically put that in Zach's ear, like, hey, you look better with Molly than you look better with Catherine. Basically kind of messed up that relationship. And that's where he basically felt like he got his ego on. Because as soon as he said that to Zach, I knew it was basically over. Because once somebody in the villa basically tells you, you get along better with this person than you get along with that person, they start to shift their mindset away from what they already know. Unless they're like in a tight-knit couple and nothing can really get to them, then that's different. But if somebody tells you week one that you look better with this person than you look better to the person that you're in, they're gonna shift their mindset. So he basically messed that up. Now, in today's episode, he's basically saying Catherine and Scott are not compatible, or at least compatible. And I'm just like, I guess because he's boys with Sammy and he talks to Sammy, but Sammy just told you that he's not head over heels for Jess, so he don't care. So how are you going to be like, oh, Catherine and Scott are at least compatible to them? Anyway, we find out later at the end of the episode that 2 new bombshells are coming in, Mal and Montel.
Not an intentional heartbreaker, but hearts do tend to break. We're all in here for the same reason, so may the best man win.
I'm not afraid to step on people's toes. Yeah, respectfully, I'm going to take command.
And we're going to see what happens. Obviously, there was a twist with that whole least compatible vote. Maya basically told them that you guys are both single. Jess, Sammy, Leah, and Mitchell are all single now, and they can't recouple at the next recoupling. So they're going to be single. So they're probably going to be 4 new beds, or I don't know what's going to happen. we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how Scott is going to move towards Catherine, but he seemed to be a little bit, you know, rocking with Catherine. Like, you seem like booed up, sitting next to each other, like hand clasped together, like, okay, let's see what's going on. But hopefully, you know, let's see this thing through. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, now that Leah's single, she's probably going to put on the graph like 100 times more to get to know Scott. I mean, Montel looks like he's going to probably get to know Leah, Ella, and, you know, Catherine. And then, you know, Mal is trying to get to know Mitchell, Zach, and Sammy, the people that we really care about. So we don't know what's going to happen, but that was the episode. The drama of tomorrow's episode, we didn't even get to see the tomorrow's look or, you know, tomorrow's night thing, because I feel like, you know, there's going to be some words said. I feel like Jess might be, like, upset that, you know, she was picked or whatever. But then again, you got Sammy out here calling Catherine and Scott out, and Tyreek out here calling Catherine and Scott out. I think Mitchell, he probably sees some type of progress with Catherine and Scott, because he kind of felt bothered that Catherine was like, oh, Mitchell and Leah are like a friendship thing. And he kind of felt bothered by it. But he definitely did not vote for them, because I think Leah and Mitch didn't even vote for them. They just voted for Maddie, Whitney, and Sammy and Jess. So that was today's episode. I just know it's going to be drama. Like, the producers really wanted to be messy, because there's already tension in the villa. Like, not everybody likes everybody. These people are way too honest, like, more than the previous seasons. Like, they say everything out loud in the open at most of the time. So there's really nothing to be unsaid. So we're going to see a lot of things unfold soon. And hopefully the drama, like, it's going to be entertainment popcorn, because, yeah, this was pretty messy. Anyway, guys, if you like the video, comment down below, you know, your thoughts, comments, concerns, and you not haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.